Hey, what's up, guys? It's ToastyTabletopGames, and today I've got the last of my Brothers War set booster box and some collector's box stuff. So we're just gonna jump straight into it. Not a whole lot to talk about there. It's just what I've got left of that one set booster box I got release date. So let's see. I'm still looking for a lot of the meld stuff. I don't have all of it yet. So hopefully we get those today, and we'll see what happens. So these are really neat art card there. I think it's Phyrexian Vault or something like that. I can't remember, but it's a really cool art. We got our full art swamp there. All right, here we go. Gixian Infiltrator, Third Path Savant, Scatter Ray, Spectrum Sentinel, Repair and Recharge, Ashnod's Harvester, Thopter Mechanic, Thopter Architect, our Millstone, and our Perennial Behemoth. So it's for 5 mana. We get a 2/7 artifact beast with, you can play lands from your graveyard, and it's got unearth for 2 green. I mean, I think that's kind of neat as a way to access your graveyard, or at least things in your graveyard. So I can see this being good. Maybe in like a Gitrog monster deck or something that cares about having lands there, so that way you're not missing land drops still, and you're still getting the resources back as required by sacrificing lands because of Gitrog monster, and so on and so forth. Oh, perfect. Got a hollow Mightstone and Weakstone in the spot there. Now, what I want to know, well, I guess we'll find out here in a second. So when the Mightstone and Weakstone enters the battlefield, we can choose one. We can draw 2 cards. Our target creature gets -5/-5 till end of turn. And we can tap it to add 2 mana. Now, I want to know if the backside is hollow. It is. Okay, so that's pretty funny, because then you can have one half be hollow and the other half not hollow, which is pretty funny. But hopefully I get a hollow half for this too, because I really do want to play Urza as a commander. But if I don't get the hollow one, I mean, I guess it'd be pretty funny to have half of it be hollow, right? So, anyways, moving on. Oh crap, gonna just keep throwing my cards all over the place. So here we go. So our art card, Mountain, we got the Weakstone Subjugation, Mishra's Juggernaut, Aeronaut Cavalry, Wing Commando, Swift Gear Drake, Arms Race, Recruitment Officer, Yoshin Dissident, Adaptive Automaton. It's a good pull. So you can choose a creature type, and then it is the chosen type in addition to its other types, and creatures of the chosen type get +1/+1. We've got a Thran Spider. So for 3, we're getting a 2/4 with reach, and when it enters the battlefield, you and target opponent each create a tapped Power Stone token. And then for 7, we can look at the top 4 cards of our library and reveal an artifact card from among them and put it in our hand, and the rest on the bottom of our library in a random order. That's pretty cool. Third Path Iconoclast, and a Power Stone token. So yeah, I think the Thran Spider would be really good. For something that cares about things on the bottom of the deck, I guess. Well, actually, no, it's in a random order, so never mind, actually. But card selection is powerful, but I don't think for 7 mana it's super worth it. I can see that being a pretty bulk rare. So, art card of Urza, Fuller Island. We got Deadly Riposte, Argothian Sprite, Urza's Rebuff, Clay Revenant, Mass Production, Splitting the Power Stone, Take Flight, Chromatic Star, Sigil of Valor, Hall of Tazgin. So we can tap it to add colorless. We can pay 1 and tap it to add 1 mana of any color. And then for 4 and tapping it, we can create a tapped Power Stone token. Then we've got a Liquid Metal Coating with the schematic, and a Forest Dryad token. Oh, I almost grabbed the collector's pack there. Whoopsies. All right. Art card, Forest. All right, got Goring War Plow, Mishra's Onslaught, Tawnos' Tinkering, Goblin Firebomb, Goblin Blast Runner, Corrupt, Dreams of Steel and Oil, Evangel of Synthesis, Soul Guide Lantern, the Blast Zone. So it's going to enter the battlefield with a charge counter on it. We can tap it for colorless and pay XX and tap it and put X charge counters on Blast Zone. Or we can pay 3 and tap it and sack Blast Zone and destroy each non-land permanent with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on the Blast Zone. We got Conscripted Infantry Hollow and Barbarian Ring reprint. Very cool. That was a clean pack opening right there. Art card of the island, full art planes. Got Disfigure, Blitz Automaton, Epic Confrontation, Unleash Shell, Disciples of Gix, Transmogrant Altar, Skyfish Spider, Pristine Talisman, Liquid Metal Coating, and Fauna Shaman. Arguably one of the best reprints in this whole set. So for green, we can and tapping it, we can discard a creature card and then search our library for a creature card and put it in our hand, which is insanely good. And then we've got Fortified Beachhead. And as it enters the battlefield, we may reveal a soldier card from our hand, and it enters the battle. And oh crap, let me reread that one again. As a Fortified Beachhead enters the battlefield, we can reveal a soldier card from our hand. Fortified Beachhead enters the battlefield tapped unless you revealed a soldier card this way, or you control a soldier. Then we can tap it for white or blue, and then for 5 we can tap it, and soldiers get +1/+1 till end of turn, and we get a soldier token with it. How fitting. So halfway through the set booster packs already. This one did not open nearly as nicely as I would hope. Good lord. All right, we got the cards out. All right, art card, Swamp. Got Sibling Rivalry, Bitter Reunion, Excavation Explosion, Energy Refractor, Power Stone Fracture, Gnawing Vermin, Junkyard Genius, Aura Blessed Engineers, the Maze Mind Tome. So we can tap it and put a page counter on Maze Mind Tome and scry 1. Or we can pay 2 and tap it and put a page counter on Maze Mind Tome to draw a card. But if there are 4 more counters on Maze Mind Tome, we're going to exile it, and if we do, we gain 4 life. Then we got another Saheeli. This is my third one. I almost got a playset. So for +1, we can scry 1, and we can tap an untapped artifact we control, but if we do, we draw a card. -2, we create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens of flying and gain haste till end of turn. -4, we get an emblem with artifact creatures you control get +1/+1, and artifact spells you control cost 1 less to cast. Then we have Flow of Knowledge Hollow. Good lord, dropping everything, and a Power Stone token. I don't have the new Teferi yet, so maybe I think getting that would be pretty cool. Maybe, I think it would be really cool if I opened one. So I'm trying to will it into existence. You know, I'm trying to will it into happening. So we got Overwhelming Remorse, Stern Lesson, Prison Sentence, Ashnod's Intervention, Evolving Wilds, Battery Bearer, Saren's Steel Seeker, a Great Desert Prospector, Ivory Tower, the Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. It's really good. It's kind of reminiscent of the Steel, the Worm Coil engine, I think, right? Worm Coil engine. So it's for 7, we get a 7/5 with Menace and Lifelink and Ward. Pay life equal to Phyrexian Flesh Gorger's power, or we can cast it for Prototype for 1 and 2 black, and is a 3/3 with the same abilities. We got Arms Race Hollow and a Power Stone token. All right. Okay. So our art card, Full Art Mountain, Tacassia's Dig Sites, Tacassia's Onulet, Wasteful Harvest, Keeper of the Cadence, No One Left Behind, Haywire Might, Hornsteel Stoneseeker, Philology Excavation, Jalum Tome, Gix's Command. So we get to choose 2 for 3 and 2 black of put 2 1/1 counters on up to 1 creature, gains lifelink till end of turn, destroy each creature with power 2 or less, return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, and each opponent sacrifices a creature with the highest power among creatures they control. It's a pretty solid card. Got a Hollow Hall of Tazgin, which I've already talked about, so I'm going to skip that, and a minigame token. All right, here we go. Island. All right, we got Airlift Chaplain, Ravenous Gigamole, Dwarven Forge Chanter, Burrowing Razormaw, Urza, Power Stone Prodigy, Argivian Avenger, Reconstructed Thopter, the Bone Saw, Elsewhere Flask, a Temporal Anchor. So at the beginning of our upkeep, we're going to scry 2, and whenever you choose to put 1 or more cards on the bottom of your library while scrying, you can exile that many cards in the bottom of your library. During your turn, you can play cards exiled with the Temporal Anchor. You get the Rust Goliath, Hollow, and a Power Stone token. And we're almost done. Last set booster pack. So we've got our art card, Full Art Mountain. Alright, Penregun Strongbow, Machine Over Matter, Boulder Branch Golem, Trench Stalker, Mishra Excavation Prodigy, Symmetry Matrix, Mishra's Research Desk. Got a Howling Mine. Love Howling Mine. So at the beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mine is untapped, that player draws an additional card. It's too easy. And then we've got a Thorn of Amethyst. So non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Good lord, this is a good pack. Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia. So we can tap to add 2 mana in any combination of colors, but only cast that mana to cast creature spells or activate abilities of a creature card. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, you put a 1/1 counter on Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia, and untap it. This could be a really good elf commander. I can probably anyways, or at least worth playing in your elf decks. We got a Hollow Ashnod's Harvester and some Punch Out tokens. And that is all of our set booster box. We got some cool stuff. I only got one of the meld pairs, but that's okay. Can't complain. All right, so now we're gonna move on to our 3 collector's packs. We're gonna jump straight into it. Okay, here we go. So we've got, I'm not gonna mention if they're hollow or full art or whatever, because they're all gonna be that. So we got Stone Retrieval Unit, Dwarven Forge Chanter, Survivor of Corliss, Energy Refractor, Lay Down Arms, Yoshin Dissident, an Island, Hajar, the Loyal Bodyguard, so we can sacrifice him and legendary creatures we control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible till end of turn. Got Urza's Command. Creatures we don't control get -2/-0 till end of turn. Create a tapped Power Stone token. Create a tapped 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Inscry 1 and draw 1. And we're choosing 2 of those. Then we got Sandwell, Avenger Ace. As long as an artifact creature you control is attacking, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Sandwell. And whenever he becomes tapped, we exile the top 6 cards of our library and can cast a vehicle or artifact creature spell from among them, and then put the rest on the bottom of our library in a random order. Got a Hollow Mishra's Bauble, a Self-Assembler, a Mind's Eye, so whenever an opponent draws a card, we can pay 1, and if we do, we draw a card. And we've got Blaster, Combat DJ. So other non-token artifact creatures and vehicles we control have Modular 1. And whenever you put 1 or more 1/1 counters on Blaster, we convert it. And he flips over into Blaster, Morale Booster. He's got Modular 3, and we can tap, we pay X and tap him, and to move X 1/1 counters from Blaster onto another target artifact. That artifact gains haste until end of turn, and if he has no 1/1 counters left on him, we convert him and activate it as a sorcery only. We've got a Hollow Journeyer's Kite, so we can pay 3 and tap it to search for a basic land, reveal it, and put it in our hand, and a Power Stone Zombie token. All right. So we got Scrapwork Mutt, Deadly Riposte, Curate, Aeronaut Cavalry, Dreams of Steel and Oil, Spotter Thopter, Forest. Got Hostile Negotiations. We can exile the top 3 cards of our library in a face-down pile, and then exile the top 3 cards of our library in another face-down pile. We look at the cards in each pile, and then turn a pile of our choice face up. An opponent chooses one of the 2 piles and put that pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Lose 3 life. Got Visions of Phyrexia. So at the beginning of our upkeep, we can exile the top card of our library and may play that card this turn. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't play a card from exile, you create a tapped Power Stone token. You got Terror Ballista. So it's got Menace, and whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. And when you do, you destroy a target creature an opponent controls. Hollow Millstone, Burnished Hearts, Precursor Golem. So when it enters the battlefield, you create 2 3/3 colorless Golem artifact creature tokens. And whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single Golem, that player copies that spell for each other Golems that spell could target. And each copy targets a different one of those Golems. Then we've got Blitzwing, the Cruel Tormentor, So at the beginning of our end step, we target opponent loses life equal to the life that a player lost this turn. If no life is lost this way, we convert him. And he's got living metal, so he's a creature during your turn. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, you choose flying or indestructible at random, and Blitz gains that ability until end of turn. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, we convert it. Like, this art's pretty cool too. It kind of shows him like switching between being a jet and a tank, which is pretty cool. Then we got Semblance Anvil. So we can imprint it. So when it enters the battlefield, we can exile a non-land card from our hand. And spells that share a card type with the exiled card cost 2 less to cast. Then we've got a Power Stone and Bear token. And onto our last collector's pack. Just gotta get it out. Boom. All right. We got Sibling Rivalry, Depth Charge Colossus, Carrion Locust, Shoot Down, Yoshin Tactician, No One Left Behind, and Islands. Got Mishra, Tamer of Makfawa. So permanents we control have Ward, sacrifice a permanent, and each artifact card in our graveyard has unearth 1 black and red. Got a Platoon Dispenser. So at the beginning of our end step, if we control 2 more other creatures, we draw a card, and then for 3 and 1 white, we create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. And it's got unearth for 2 and white, 2 and 2 white. And we got Ashnod, the Uncaring. So she's got Death Touch, and whenever you activate an ability of an artifact or creature that isn't a mana ability, if 1 or more permanents were sacrificed to activate it, you may copy that ability, and you may choose new targets for that copy. Jalamtone, Ivory Tower, Thorn of Amethyst, Flame War, the Brash Veteran. So she's got sacrifice another artifact, put a 1/1 counter on Flame War and convert it. And for 1, we can discard our hand and put all exiled cards we own with intel counters on them into our hand. So she's got Living Metal, so she's vehicle during our creature during our turn. Sorry, she's got Menace and Death Touch, and whenever she deals combat damage to a player, we exile that many cards from the top of our library face down, and we put an intel counter on each of them and then convert her. Pretty cool. Got a Scrap Trawler. So when it or another artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, we return to our hand target artifact in our graveyard with lesser mana value. And then we got a Power Stone Soldier token. Pretty cool. And yeah, that's all of our stuff. But if you're paying attention when I was uploading all of these videos, that I actually still have some more because I didn't open enough in all my videos. So I've got 3 more packs. Collector's packs that we're gonna do as a little treat. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. Get straight into it. All right, got Thanos' Tinkering, Retrieval Agent, Scrapwork Cohort, Coastal Bulwark, Mask of the Jade Crafter, The Fall of Krug, a Swamp, Diabolic Intent. It's a great card, great tutor. So as an additional cost to cast a spell, we're going to sack a creature, and then we're going to search our library for a card and put it in our hand. It's very good. Discount Diabolic Tutor. Takasi is welcome. So whenever 1 or more creatures with mana value 3 or less enter the battlefield under our control, we draw a card, but it only triggers once each turn. Got the Thopter Shop for the Commander set. So whenever 1 or more artifact creatures you control die, we draw a card. Triggers only once each turn. But we can pay 2 and 1 white to tap and create a 1/1 colorless Thopter creature token with flying. Got some Swiftfoot Boots. Oh, that's upside down for some reason. Got a Foundry Inspector, Adjourn Year's Kite, which I talked about, so I'm not going to talk about it again. Ultra Magnus, the Tactician. So whenever he attacks, we can put an artifact creature from our hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, and if we do, we convert him. He's got Ward 2, we can cast him converted for 2 and then Naya, and he is a 4/7 with Living Metal, so he's a creature during your turn. He's got Haste, and whenever he attacks, attacking creatures you control gain indestructible till end of turn, and if those creatures have total power 8 or greater, we convert him. And then we got another Fortified Beach, which I've talked about, and a Power Stone Forest Dryad token. That did not open nice at all. Hate when that happens. I gotta spend all this extra time trying to get it right. All right. I think we're good. Yep. All right. So we got Giant Growth, Wing Commando, Rolling Strike, Trench Stalker, Argivian Avenger, Junkyard Genius, a Forest. Here's Titania. Got Titania, Voice of Gaia. So she's got Reach, and whenever one or more lands are put into your graveyard from anywhere, we gain 2 life. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 more lands in your graveyard you control and own, Titania, Voice of Gaia, and a land named Argoth, Sanctum of Nature, we exile it and then meld them together into Titania, Gaia Incarnate. But I don't think I have the other half yet. So we got Legion to Ashes. So we're going to exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls, and all tokens that player controls with the same name as that permanent, which is pretty good, actually. It's like Despark, actually. It's pretty similar to that, except it hits a lot of things. You got March of Progress. We're going to choose target artifact creature we control, and for each creature token chosen this way, we create a token that's a copy of it. It's got Overload for 7 total. Ivory Tower, Soul Guide Lantern, Cloud Key. So as it enters the battlefield, we're going to choose an artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, or sorcery. And spells of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. Got Optimus Prime. That's nice. So he's got, at the beginning of each end step, you're going to bolster 1. And then when he dies, return to the battlefield converted under its owner's control. And it's got More Than Meets the Eye for 2 and Jeskai, I believe. Pretty sure it's Jeskai. On the other side, we got Optimus Prime, Autobot Leader, and he is a creature as long as it's your turn, and he's got Trample. And whenever you attack, you bolster 2. And the chosen creatures gain control Trample until end of turn, and when that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, we convert him. Then we got a really nice one here. We got the Unwinding Clock. Very nice. So we're going to untap all artifacts we control during each other player's untapped step, which is insanely good. We got a Power Stone and Ravage token. Our last pack for Brothers War, at least for a little bit. Let's see. All right, we got Evolving Wilds, Mishra's Onslaught, Dredging Claw, Epic Confrontation, Arablest Engineers, Recruitment Officer, a Mountain, Kayla's Reconstruction, sorry. So we're going to look at the top 7 cards of our library and put X artifact and or creature cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom in a random order. Got Drafna, Founder of Lat Nam. So for 1 and 1 blue, we're going to return an artifact we control to its owner's hand. And then for 3 and tapping it, we can copy an artifact spell we control. It's on the stack, which is pretty cool. Got Disciple of Kalos Nin. So enters the battlefield starting with you. Each player chooses up to 5 permanents they control. All the permanents that aren't Disciple of Kalos Nin that weren't chosen this way phase out, and then permanents can't phase in. Got Pristine Talisman. Another Swiftfoot Boots. Whoops, skipping stuff. Got a Platinum Angel. So as long as you control it, we can't lose the game and our opponents can't win. Got Ratchet, Field Medic. So he's got lifelink, and whenever we gain life, we can convert him, and when we do, we return an artifact card of lesser mana value, or mana value will be less than or equal to the amount of life we gained this way, or gained this turn from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And then he's got Living Metal, so he's a creature during our turn. He's a 1/4 lifelink, and whenever one or more non-token artifacts you control put into the graveyard from the battlefield, we convert him again. We got Sardian Avenger. He's got First Strike and Trample, and whenever he attacks, he gets +X/+0, where X is the number of artifacts your opponents control. And whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to that player. Then we've got a Power Stone and Construct token, and that is all of my Brothers War stuff. So yeah, that's kind of it. We got a lot of cool stuff. I can't fan them out and show you all. This is well over, like, maybe around 60 cards worth of stuff, but yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and as always, follow me on my socials at ToastyTabletopGames on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.